Most people get this wrong when they try to start a company in Armenia. They think it is just about filling out a form and getting a registration number. But here's the truth no one tells you. The real process is not just registration. It is understanding the legal structure, banking setup, tax system, and how everything connects in the correct order. If you miss that order, you can end up stuck with banking delays, tax confusion, or even compliance problems that slow your business before it even starts. So in this video, you are going to learn exactly how to start a company in Armenia step by step in 2026. Even if you have never done business internationally before, you will understand everything clearly and practically. No complicated legal language. Just a simple roadmap you can actually follow. Let's start right away. First, you need to understand why Armenia has become popular for foreign entrepreneurs. Over the last few years, Armenia has simplified business registration and built a system that supports small businesses, freelancers, and foreign-owned companies. Many entrepreneurs from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East are now choosing Armenia because of its relatively low setup costs, simple registration process, and flexible business environment. For example, someone like Alex, a freelance developer from Italy, or John, a digital marketer from India, can register a company in Armenia and operate legally with minimal bureaucracy compared to many other countries. But here's where it gets interesting. Even though the process is simple, it still has structure. And if you ignore that structure, you will face avoidable delays later. So let's break it down step by step. The first step is choosing your company structure. In Armenia, the most common structure for foreign entrepreneurs is a limited liability company, also known as an LLC. This structure is popular because it protects your personal assets and allows you to operate as a separate legal entity. Think of it like this. If Alex registers an LLC and the business faces financial issues, his personal savings and assets are not automatically affected. That separation is one of the most important reasons people choose this structure. But here's the problem. Many beginners choose a structure without thinking about taxes, banking, or future growth. So before you move forward, always think about where your business is heading, not just where it starts. Now let's move to the second step, which is choosing a company name. This sounds simple, but it is actually one of the most overlooked steps in the process. Your company name must be unique and compliant with Armenian registration rules. If your chosen name is already taken or conflicts with regulations, your application may be delayed or rejected. Here's what usually happens. A founder picks a name, builds branding, creates a website, and only later discovers the name is not available. That leads to frustration and wasted time. So instead, always prepare multiple name options before starting registration. 3 to 5 alternatives is a smart approach. Now let's move into the core step, which is company registration. Company registration in Armenia is relatively straightforward. You submit your application to the relevant government authority, provide your documents, and once approved, your company becomes a legal entity. In many cases, the process is fast compared to other countries, sometimes completed within a few working days if everything is correct. But here's where most people fail. They assume fast means effortless. That is not true. Even small mistakes like incorrect passport details, missing translations, or incomplete forms can delay the process significantly. So, what do you actually need? You typically need a valid passport or ID, a registered legal address in Armenia, and completed application forms. If you are a foreign founder like John from the US, you may also need notarized translations depending on your situation. Now here's an important insight. You do not always need to physically be in Armenia to register a company. Many founders use legal representatives or service providers to complete the process remotely. This is a huge advantage for digital entrepreneurs and remote business owners. But here's the problem. Not all service providers are reliable. Some are excellent, but others can cause delays or compliance issues if they handle documentation poorly. So always verify who you are working with. Once your company is registered, the next step is opening a bank account. This is one of the most important stages in the entire process. Without a bank account, your company cannot operate properly. You cannot receive payments, manage transactions, or run your business at scale. To open a corporate bank account in Armenia, you will need your company registration, documents, identification, and sometimes details about your business activities. For example, if Alex is running an online consulting business, the bank may ask about his clients, expected income, and transaction patterns. Now here's where it gets interesting. Banking is not just a formality. It is a compliance process. Banks want to understand your business before approving full access. So the more prepared you are, the smoother the process will be. Now let's move to taxation. Armenia offers relatively simple tax regimes for small and medium-sized businesses. Depending on your business type, you may qualify for simplified taxation or standard corporate taxation. For example, a freelancer or service-based business may have a simpler tax structure compared to an import-export company. But here's the key mistake many beginners make. They assume low taxes mean no planning is needed. That is not correct. Your tax classification must match your actual business activity. If it does not, you can face compliance issues later during audits or reporting. So always define your business model clearly before tax registration. Now let's talk about licensing. Not every business in Armenia needs a special license. Many online businesses, consulting firms, and software companies can operate without additional permits. However, if your business is in regulated industries like finance, healthcare, education, or certain trade sectors, you may need additional approvals. This is where many entrepreneurs make mistakes. They assume no license is required, and only discover restrictions after they start operating. So always verify your industry requirements before launching. Now let's talk about hiring employees. Once your company is active, you may want to hire local staff. Armenia has structured labor laws that define employment contracts, payroll rules, and employer obligations. For example, if Alex hires a local developer, he must register the employment properly and follow payroll regulations. The good news is that labor costs in Armenia are generally lower compared to Western countries, which makes it attractive for startups building remote or local teams. Now let's move into accounting and compliance. Even small companies must maintain proper financial records. This includes tracking income, expenses, and submitting required tax reports. Many founders choose to work with local accountants to ensure everything is handled correctly. But here's the problem. If you ignore accounting early, it becomes much harder to fix later when your business grows. So treat compliance as something you build from day one, not something you deal with later. Now let's talk about costs. Starting a company in Armenia is generally affordable compared to Europe or North America. Costs usually include registration fees, document preparation, banking setup, and optional legal or accounting services. A simple service-based company can be set up with relatively low initial investment. But here's an important point. Even though setup is affordable, ongoing compliance costs still exist. Many beginners forget this and run into budgeting issues later. Now here's a curiosity moment. In a minute, I'll show you the most common mistake foreign founders make in Armenia that causes delays in banking approval. But first, let's talk about timelines. While registration is relatively fast, the full process including banking and compliance setup can take longer than expected. Many people assume everything will be ready in just a few days, but realistically, it may take a couple of weeks to fully stabilize operations. So always plan with realistic expectations. Now, let's go over common mistakes. The first mistake is choosing the wrong company structure. The second mistake is not preparing documents correctly. The third mistake is selecting unreliable service providers. And the fourth mistake is ignoring tax classification early. Each of these mistakes can slow your setup significantly. So here's a simple framework to remember. Think of company formation in Armenia as 4 layers. First is legal registration. Second is banking setup. Third is tax registration. Fourth is compliance and operations. If you follow this order, everything becomes much smoother. Now let's quickly summarize everything. To start a company in Armenia, you choose a structure like an LLC, prepare your company name options, register your business with proper documents, open a bank account, register for taxes, and maintain compliance through accounting and licensing if required. That is the complete system. Now, Here is the final insight most beginners miss. A successful company in Armenia is not just about registration speed. It is about preparation and execution. The founders who succeed are the ones who plan ahead, organize documents properly, and understand the full process before starting. For example, Alex might register quickly, but struggle later if he did not prepare banking properly. Meanwhile, a well-prepared founder moves smoothly through each stage without delays. So always think ahead, not just step by step. To wrap everything up, starting a company in Armenia in 2026 is absolutely achievable even for beginners. The system is simple, but still structured. If you follow the correct order, stay organized, and prepare properly, you can build a fully legal and operational company without unnecessary stress. And remember this final point. Most delays do not come from complexity. They come from lack of preparation. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to like the video, leave a comment with your questions, and subscribe for more step-by-step international business guides like this one.